Most people moving to Utah would buy this house for all the wrong reasons. If you're looking to relocate or buy a second home in Utah, this is the kind of decision that you really need to get right. We're going to break down how much this home's worth, who it fits, who it doesn't, and whether or not it is a reasonable investment property. Woo! All right, are we recording?
We're recording.
All right. Ooh, we got music on there. That's fancy. It must be a modern home. Ooh, puttering, pickleball court. Is it on the golf course?
It's on the golf course.
Ooh,
The house is in the backyard.
this is copper rock?
Correct.
Oh yeah. So I could see where somebody fitted this thing out to be a multifamily Airbnb, large property. I don't know if there's really a market for that. And there's definitely not a market for a single family fitting in this huge thing. This is like a bunch of buddies doing a golf trip. But this home looks like it's probably in the mid twos to low threes. Say like 2.4 to 3.2. Yeah, about what size is it? Looks like maybe 10, 12, 14,000 square feet?
12,000.
12,000. Okay, so I wasn't too far off. So I'll tell you one thing. Here's my guess. Here's my take on it. Just without knowing anything about this subdivision at all. The cost to build this property was probably $1.5 to $2 million more than what you could sell it for. Yeah.
How do you figure that?
You could tell from the build costs. That's probably in a $500 to $600 a square foot. And if it's at 12,000 square feet, that means it's probably like a 5 million, $4.5 million build. And you don't have a buyer in the St. George, you don't have a buyer in the St. George market area that's willing to cover the cost of that build.
So, because I have insider knowledge, I filmed the house. I talked to the people that are currently managing it. You're right. They are marketing it as a rental place for a guy's golf trip.
Okay.
I do know that it cost 5 million to build.
I was right.
You were right. And I know that based on Zillow numbers right now, the house next door is 3 million. And the Zillow estimate for that one is 3.2.
Yeah, and that won't get that. It won't. There's If you're a buyer, you're not spending $3 million to be on the outside of Copper Rock. It's for somebody who 4 years ago had access to free money at a 2.5% mortgage. That person doesn't exist anymore. Even if we have a 125 point drop in the 10-year, that's not going to affect a rate for a 3.2 property where you're going to have an increased buyer pool that's going to have enough access to cash to purchase that home. When you're not going to get the nightly rental offset for that, and so you're going to be carrying full bag on it. How much? You said that they are marketing it for a guy's trip.
They are marketing it for a guy's trip, and
How much is that going for a night then?
right this second, it's going for 450 a night.
Case closed. $450 a night. okay. Like how many, how
Like
many,
I want to go book that right now.
right? I mean, how many, that's cheaper than me staying at the Courtyard Marriott. Like how much is that going to offset your nut on that every month? I mean, you're talking about not only your mortgage costs, your insurance costs, your utility costs. I guarantee you there's a HOA that you're going to have to deal with Copper Rock. The amount of funds needed to keep that property floating at a $3.2 million purchase price, which is, by the way, 2.8 less than what it costs to build, um, is it shrinks the buyer pool. There's just not that many human beings out here that are willing to park that much cash into a property that they're using as a second home. So here's the thing about second homes in St. George in particular. Um, most of my clients that I've dealt with over the past decade, anyway, um, have a second home option in the St. George area for wintertime. They'll they'll go down there once things get cold here. Um, some of them go to Scottsdale in Arizona, but a lot of them like to stay close by. It's only 4 hours away, so if they have anything or business they have to do here in Salt Lake, in northern Utah, super easy access to get. It's a 3.5 hour drive. It's pretty quick to get back home. Um, or they fly, and there's airports in and out of St. George that come out of both Salt Lake Airport and Provo.
And there is an airport right by Copper Rock.
Yeah, there is an airport right by Copper Rock, and it's actually really cute. It's a really cute little enclave area of Hurricane. So most of my clients have said it's first and foremost a getaway from northern Utah, and most of them are my C-suite clients tend to want to have somewhere that they can turn the phone off and really spend time with family. So there's a lot of like um, one-on-one time with the kids, uh, or just with their spouses, and um, the nightly rental thing doesn't even really come into play. So as a result, their properties tend to be more true second homes. So they're not the 12,000, 14,000 square foot builds. They're like 1,800 square foot uh, up and down rambler, like 1,800 up, 1,800 down kind of uh, a rambler, or that's within a golf community, gated community. Um,
It's funny you mentioned that because there are several of those at Copper Rock. Like they have way more of those than they
yeah,
do that standalone.
right. And I would think that that would be more the market segment, because you have a buyer that's willing to, um, that's something that they can carry. It's something that they don't need Airbnb money for. I mean, if anything, most of them just have friends coming and staying when they're not using it. Very few are on the nightly rental um, kind of a thing. And I think there's the exposure and the liability to that. But I think two, and the reason why your big property is probably um, not renting for more than 465 a night is because there's uh, a ton of inventory for that. So a lot of people that purchased homes during the 2%, 3% mortgage rates all decided they were going to also become Airbnb people. And because there's not a lot of hotel space out there, and for the cost, you could get an Airbnb pretty much anywhere. You're not going to make a lot of money on that. Like if you look at the cost, um, your cost to hold, all of that, as a somebody who's financially savvy, you're better off carrying it in a S&P 500 index more than you are purchasing a $800,000, you know, patio home in St. George. I see a home like this and I think of if I was representing somebody who was thinking about buying this, it would be a really specific buyer. And I would want to make sure that all of the information and data is on the board, both short term and long term when you're thinking about a financial decision like something like this. Um, I'm not I'm not opposed to uh, having a second home in St. George. I think it's a great idea, but it's specific to a certain kind of buyer, a certain kind of client. Um, so if you're thinking about purchasing a home in St. George as a second home, um, or even buying a home kind of like this one, you should probably call first. Give me a call so we can discuss the pros and cons of the financial obligations, the location, and the short-term and long-term value of being in a property like this, or maybe even having just a second family home down in St. George. Again, I'm a big fan of having those options down there, but finding the right place and the right property are really key when you're going to be thinking about buying a second home.